Happy Fenway Day, everyone. We're at a new location today, but coming up on the Tomahawk Talk, the Bourne Braves fell to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 8-7 yesterday in their second matchup against them on the season, but they play the Wareham Gatemen for the first time later on today. We're going to speak with beat reporter Nate Laird, field manager Scott Landers, and get a special interview with a player. It's the Tomahawk Talk, and it starts right now.
Left field, back on it, the left fielder approaches. It drops before the wall. Cooney scores. Sifts it from third. Around, touches home, and the Bourne Braves have the lead.
Welcome into today's pregame Tomahawk Talk as the Bourne Braves are set to take on the Wareham Gatemen in just a few moments. I'm your host, Cadence Kilhoff, joined by Devin Jarvis and Casey Kasliner. But today is Fenway Day, where the Bourne Braves come to Fenway Park, the home of the Red Sox, and get to practice in front of scouts from all 30 MLB organizations alongside the 9 other teams here on Cape Cod. Guys, this is a big day for the Cape Cod Baseball League.
It kind of feels like a holiday. The players get an opportunity to go out there and impress scouts, but also have fun, play at a stadium they've likely never played at before and only have watched on TV. And I talked with Scott Landers last time out against Hyannis, and he said it's not only an important day, but it's one that guys will remember. These are guys that, again, are trying to show their talents to high-profile scouts. And where else would you rather be? It's America's most beloved ballpark, and it's one of the most historic stadium venues in the world. It's a great day to be a Cape League fan and a Cape League player.
Yeah, for these guys, it's awesome, right? What could you rather do, especially playing in the Cape Cod Baseball League, than come here to the most beloved ballpark in all of baseball and one of the best sports venues in all of the world to practice on this field, take some BP, take some IO, and just have a good time. Scouts are watching you. It's great to get that evaluation, but also just to enjoy the moment in a really special one for a lot of the top athletes in the country.
And we just got here, but the energy is pretty high. Yesterday it wasn't so high after the Bourne Braves fell to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks 8-7. Let's take a look at the highlights. Hyannis got right to business at Doran Park. A single to third base that deflects off Lee Ellis gives the Harbor Hawks their first run of the game, but they're nowhere close to being done. Hyannis up 2 already, but had 2 more after a line drive to John Stutzer gives the Harbor Hawks a 4 spot in just the first inning. And the momentum carries on into the second. Hyannis grounds into a force out, scores a runner, and the throwing error from second baseman Blake Schaff advances hitter Matt Einish past first, and the Harbor Hawks end the third inning 8-0. The fans start to leave, the crowd was dwindling, and everyone was ready for a mercy rolling, but the Braves locked in the bottom of the 7th after Schaff walks in Bourne's first run of the day. From there, Hyannis slipping up a bit. A wild pitch pushes in Lee Ellis, and the Bravos add 2 more runs before Luke Costello walks for Bourne to trail by 3 going into the 8th inning. Another wild pitch helps Bourne one last time, and with the pitching staff still struggling, a balk scores Rustin Rigdon to put the Braves within 1. The 9th inning had no response from Bourne, though, and Hyannis takes the 8-7 win after what everyone thought would have been the comeback of the century. Blake Schaff was that spark for the Bourne Braves offense, going 2 for 4 with a triple, a walk, and an RBI, and he's been Bourne's leadoff hitter for 2 games in a row now. He's hit a single and he's hit a double. And when I asked him about what he liked about being in the leadoff position, he said he loves being aggressive at the plate and he loves swinging at the first pitch, and that's where he wants to be this season.
Yeah, he's been fantastic in that leadoff position over the last 2 games. Bourne's offense overall has put up some of their better performances, 7 runs in each of those 2 games. He had a triple as well. He is a monster, and Bourne should be very lucky to have him succeed in that spot. If he can continue to find production, that'll be a great leadoff man, especially with Riker Waite gone. Schaff kind of fits the best mold of Riker Waite was. He gets on base a lot. He hits for average. He hits singles. He can very much use his speed in the base paths to his advantage, turning singles into doubles, doubles into triples, and steal. Just set up the offense exceptionally well behind him. When you have those power hitters like Luke Costello, like Matt Bolton, guys who can really get the job done and knock in runs, Schaff is the perfect guy to get knocked in.
Yeah, he had his first multi-hit performance of the season against Hyannis, and I think, we've seen a few different leadoff hitters for the Braves, and I agree with you. I think he fits the mold well. I mean, Rustin Rigdon had that opportunity. He's a good guy option as a switch hitter. And you have John Stutzer as well, but I think out of the 3, Schaff is the guy who kind of jolts the most electricity into this lineup with his hits, driving gap to gap a little bit. I'm excited to see what he does there.
Well, regardless, the Bravos still struggled on Wednesday, but so did the Wareham Gatemen.
Wareham's comeback attempt at home fell short against the Brewster Whitecaps, who won their 4th straight game this past week. The Whitecaps scored the first 5 runs of the game. Cash Strayer with the dribbler to the right side, squeaks through the infield. Here comes Dane Harvey, and just like that, it's 1-0 Brewster in the second inning. Brody DeLamalier playing some small ball, a sac fly to left field, scoring in Pete Daniel, and Brewster up 2-0 in the 5th inning. We jump ahead to the 6th. Edward Yamin, the 4th, homers to left field, into the seats. It's 3-0 Brewster, who just keeps slugging. One of 3 homers on the day for Brewster as we go to the 8th inning. And this time it's Brody DeLamalier. A line drive to left field escapes the ballpark. Brewster slugging in Wareham. It's 4-0 in the 8th inning. Cash Strayer, the player of the game for the Whitecaps, came up once again in the 8th inning, got his 2nd slug of the season as the lefty pulled one to right, leaving the yard, and that was all the offense we saw from the Brewster Whitecaps. Took a 5-0 lead, but a bit of a rally in the 8th for the Gatemen. Caleb Barnett with a single to left center field, driving in Levi Clark on a close play at the plate, and it's 5-1. Levi Clark comes up in the bottom of the 9th and walks. It's 5-2 with the bases loaded and only 1 out. Nate Nowitzki singles to left field to make it just a 2-run game, and now 3 unanswered runs for Wareham. A close play at the plate, and they got him. There's 2 outs. But Santos Oliver would get the save, and that would do it. Brewster with a massive win to win its 4th game in a row. The Whitecaps looking like one of the best teams in all of the Cape League, now with 10 wins as the Gatemen fall 10 games under 500. Bourne hasn't played Wareham yet, but the Gatemen are really struggling this season as a good Brewster team kind of knocked them out this past time.
We've also said it before, these teams that struggle, and we think the Bravos are going to beat them, but then they come out and play down to that team's level.
Yeah, I think that's what you saw yesterday against, or rather 2 days ago against Hyannis. But overall, this Wareham team is one that's even been worse than Hyannis. This is a team in Wareham that right now sits as the worst team in the Cape Cod Baseball League. They have a lot of work to do if they want to get to a point of competing for the top of the West, the way they did toward the end of last season. They were the number 2 team in the regular season in the West. This year, just not really finding that same rhythm. And Bourne overall should have a good opportunity to sweep a weekend against the Wareham Gate and pick up 2 wins, go back above 2 games of 500, and just try and find that momentum, which Bourne seems to have. Okay, 2 walk-off wins, a bad loss. A win here, a bad loss. They can't really get anything going right now, and that's the big problem. A Wareham team that's a little bit lackluster right now presents a good opportunity to find that rhythm.
And Bourne has lost 4 of its last 5, and all these games have been close. That's the thing. They're not giving up a ton, and you had those 8 runs early against Hyannis that you'd like to have back, but these are close games. These are games that Bourne feels like it should be winning. Now you play a Gateman team that, again, could give you a trap game this upcoming week. You can't let it get that far. The pitching has to step up.
And Bourne looking to finally clean things up in today's game against the Wareham Gatemen. But coming up on the Tomahawk Talk, I'll be speaking with Bourne Braves beat reporter Nate Laird. Devin gets an interview with field manager Scott Landers, and I'll be speaking with a player. We'll be right back.
Life can be full of surprises, but Eastern Propane and Oil is always just a call away. With a local team member available 24/7, we're always ready to support you when you need it. With an Eastern Propane and Oil technician on the way, your family's comfort is our priority. Our local team, over 500 strong, ensures your home is comfortable and warm. Eastern Propane and Oil, a local team with 24/7 service and delivery, ensuring comfort when you need it most.
Try it, then buy it. Rent a new cat for up to 90 days. Then apply 100% of the rental cost to the purchase and save. The Milton Cat Rent to Purchase offer. Try it, then buy it. Go to miltoncat.com/RPO.
Devin Jarvis alongside Scott Landers for the pregame Tomahawk Talk. Skip, yesterday, Fenway Day. How do you think it went for you and the team?
It was hot.
Yeah.
The guys did well. I think they enjoyed themselves. Traffic was awful, but it was a good day for them. It was just a bit hot.
You bring it back here to 4th of July weekend, home and home against the Wareham Gatemen. Separate from the baseball, what's the most special part about spending a 4th of July weekend on the Cape?
just being here
Yeah.
and all the people. For us, it's really no different because we're playing every day, but just the atmosphere.
Absolutely. And then, you suffer those 2 losses earlier last week. What were the biggest takeaways from those games that you're trying to reverse going into these next stretch of games coming up before the off day on Monday?
We just got to eliminate the crooked number, in the big innings, and we'll be fine. We've had a couple bad innings over the last 2 games that we got to fix and move forward.
You get Mark Quattrani back in the lineup today. He's the designated hitter. What did the process look like to bring him back to this team before the draft coming up for him soon?
He left for the draft combine, and he wanted to keep playing up until the draft, and I respect that, because why wouldn't you when a kid wants to play until he can?
What type of luxury does he bring to this roster in his return?
He can hit, and he wants to get more at bats, and we'll see what he does. Hopefully he has some good ones tonight.
Absolutely. Jaden Alba on the mound today. He's been maybe one of your, or if not your best starters so far. What's most impressed you about his performance so far this season?
I think just throwing strikes with 4 pitches and commanding the zone and keeping guys off balance.
You talked about limiting the crooked number. The relief pitching has been so solid this season, other than that outing against Brewster. Knowing that you have Alba on the mound today with, again, a relief pitching staff on a day of rest that should be looking good, how much security do you have in your defense to set up your offense to succeed?
Yeah, we're fine. I think we got a good defense out there today, and I trust all of our relievers going in there and doing what they're supposed to do.
Andrew Costello makes a return to the lineup today after a few days off. He's such an exciting player, currently second on the Cape in OPS. What has he brought to this lineup that maybe has surprised you a little bit, considering his performance this past spring at Wake Forest and just exploding here on the Cape?
Yeah, I think he's multi-dimensional. I think his strike zone discipline and awareness is good, and his ability to adjust from at bat to at bat. He can hit for power, he can bunt, he can do a lot of different things.
Well, Skip, good luck today. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you to Devin and Scott Landers. I'm now joined by Nate Laird, the Bourne Braves beat reporter. Nate, a returning arm on the mound today for the Bravos. Who is it?
That's right. Jaden Alba is making his 3rd start of the year for Bourne. So far through his first 3 starts, has an .075 ERA. He's one of 2 Braves pitchers this season to have a whip under 1, the other being Reese Bowie, who we know left for Team USA.
And the Wareham Gatemen, a team that we haven't seen pitch yet so far this season, but who's on the bump for them?
Well, righty Wade Walton out of High Point, making his 4th start of the year. Through the first 3, he has a .655 ERA over 11 innings pitched. This past season at High Point, he had an ERA just over 4 in 15 starts.
So, Nate, we talked about the starting pitchers, but do you have any other players to watch in today's game?
Yeah, I'm really looking at Blake Schaff to power the Bourne offense today. He's on a 5-game hit streak coming into today's game. He's got hits in all but 2 Braves games he's played in this season.
All right, Nate, well, thanks so much for joining us in the pregame Tomahawk Talk. Before we continue any further, let's take a look at what really happened on Fenway Day. Happy Fenway Day. Once every summer, the Bourne Braves get to take their talents to Fenway Park, the home of the Boston Red Sox, and they get to showcase their skills in front of MLB scouts from all 30 organizations alongside all the other teams here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Each team gets a 2-hour slot to show their skills. They do combine-like drills such as BP, infield, outfield, and running the 60-yard dash, and the hitters even get a chance to test their strength by hitting towards the green monster, the giant wall here at Fenway Park. Some players have been here before and some haven't, but either way, it's a day to remember for the Bravos.
I'm excited to be here because, it's a great experience. I've only been here once in my life, and to actually come here and be on the field, it's really a blessing.
I'm just excited to visit the park and just be with my teammates, that's all.
I'm excited to be here because I've never been here. It's a really cool experience.
I'm excited just because of the ballpark and the history that comes with it. It's sweet. It's not my first time being here, but I feel like every time I come here, it gets a little bit better.
What's the best part about playing here today?
I just think the monster. That's probably a generic answer, but there's not many ballparks that got something like that, and it's super cool to be able to try and put one over the wall, especially.
I would say the best part about today was BP. Not many times in your life where you're going to hit on a MLB field, so it was really crazy to just see the field from the batter's box. Favorite part right here.
It's pushing 90 degrees here. The players are tired, they're working hard, but it's still a memory that none of them will ever forget.
Heading to Nantucket this summer? Skip the traffic and take to the skies with Cape Air. With convenient flights from Norwood to Nantucket, you can start your vacation sooner without the hassle of traffic. That way you spend more time relaxing and less time getting there. Experience the Cape Air difference and book your next flight today at capeair.com. Let Cape Air be your wings in the Northeast.
Welcome back into the post-game Tomahawk Talk. Once again, I'm Cadence Kilhoff alongside Devin Jarvis and Casey Kasliner. And the Bourne Braves looking to get back in the win column against a team that has struggled just as much as they have, and after a pretty poor performance from Bourne's pitching staff on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think 2 games where you're really frustrated by them. A Hyannis loss where you allow 8 runs in 3 innings at the start of the game with no offense. A Brewster team where you allowed 9 runs in 1 inning. If Bourne don't make those mistakes, they come out on top likely in both games. They really are a consistent team once they find that rhythm. But they're also consistently allowing an inning defensively that just kills them. In every single one of their losses, it's something that overpowers them. A lot of unearned runs, defensive mistakes, bad decisions throwing that they wish they could have back that probably would have resulted in a win otherwise. The good news is when Bourne plays a solid defensive game, they're almost never losing. That's kind of how you have to look at it. You play solid defense, Alba on the mound, who has been Bourne's best starter to this point. You should feel pretty good about him going 5 innings, setting your team up well, and just finding, once again, that rhythm offensively that we've seen over these past couple games, 1 through 9 being productive, but it has to come early in games and consistently early.
Yeah, tight pitching and defense is kind of Scott Lander's philosophy, and you can kind of tell when that doesn't turn out, the game plan kind of gets thrown off a little bit. We've seen that recently. It's not that the Braves are committing a ton of errors every single game, but it's little mistakes, little details, like you said. And I think some of that comes from the fact that maybe some guys are playing out of position. Scott Lander's just trying to find their natural positions. We've seen Lee Ellis play 3 different infield positions so far. I think once we see a lineup that's consistently cohesive, that will go down. And I think the Braves are confident that these upcoming 2 games against a Wareham team that makes a lot of mistakes, they'll be able to weather the storm a little bit.
Well, against Brewster a couple days ago, Bourne had a pretty rough 7th inning. They had 8 hits and 9 runs in that inning. And when I spoke to Jaden Alba about those pitchers' appearances, he said it's like a ripple effect. You put one guy out there, he gets in a jam, and then you put another guy out there, and it's like a ripple effect. It affects that guy and then the next arm and so on and so forth. So the pitcher and the bullpen are really looking to step it up in today's game.
I think you have Alba on the mound and you feel really good about what he can set up for his team. Again, the bullpen has been the strongest part of Bourne's pitching staff. They've been excellent. That one outing against Brewster is a bad dot in the rest of what you've seen from them. Yesterday, 2 days ago against Hyannis, they looked phenomenal out of the bullpen. Dominic Morrow had a little bit of a rough first inning, but from then on out, you had fantastic performances from Jackson Kircher as well as Nick Robert to set up the team to attempt a comeback. That's what we've seen late in games. If the bullpen comes out, does what they do, and if Alba continues what we've seen from him, it'll be a very solid defensive game for Bourne, and you shouldn't be seeing more than 2 or 3 runs from the gateman.
Alba, throws strikes. That's the biggest thing, and Scott Landers loves that about him. I mean, you ask him every time, he says he's a strike thrower. He's a fundamentalist, and that's what you want to see out of Alba. Bourne has thrown a lot of walks recently, a lot of free passes that have turned into something bigger for the opposing team. You want to see him throw strikes and rack up those Ks.
Well, the game between the Bourne Braves and the Wareham Gatemen is almost underway. The next time you catch us, though, we'll be a little bit closer to home. These guys will be on the call, and you'll hear me on the sidelines. We'll talk to you then.
Heading to Nantucket this summer? Skip the traffic and take to the skies with Cape Air. With convenient flights from Norwood to Nantucket, you can start your vacation sooner without the hassle of traffic. That way you spend more time relaxing and less time getting there. Experience the Cape Air difference and book your next flight today at capeair.com. Let Cape Air be your wings in the Northeast.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Reader's Hardwood Supply is a candy store for wood, whether you're a professional or an amateur. Reader's Hardwood Supply carries over 70 species of both domestic and imported lumber from around the world, displayed in over 300 self-serve bins for your selection. So for your next project, make it your masterpiece with stock from Reader's Hardwood Supply. The woods of the world are here at Reader's Hardwood Supply.